Today I'm putting this infrared thermometer to the test, and I brought some tools with me to test it out. We're gonna see how accurate this is. I'm gonna show you how to use it, all the functions, features. It's super, super easy to use, by the way. We're also going to use, to help us out, this. This tells us the humidity, but it also tells us the temperature. It's a little solar panel thing that I use. And this is a decibel meter or sound meter, but it also has a temperature gauge built in. You can see right up there where it says 72. So that says 72.7. This one says 71. These two don't match. So we're going to see where this one falls. I'm going to test it on a whole bunch of different things. We're going to go outside. I live in Vegas. It is super hot today. It's almost 100 degrees. It's scorching. So we're going to test this on different surfaces. We're going to test it on food. We're going to test it against my home thermostat to see how accurate that is. And we're going to test it out right in this room right here. And this got the most accurate results, spoiler alert, because this device had been sitting in the room for a very long time. So it really adjusted to the temperature. When I did the outside test, I only set this outside for probably 15 or 20 minutes. So I don't think this was quite accurate. Neither was this. I'm assuming this is the most accurate, but we'll find out in just a moment. So setting this up is super easy. It only has 4 buttons. So one is the trigger. It's got this button here. Now this button turns the laser on or off. So when you turn this on, when you squeeze the trigger, you'll see a laser right there on my chest. The laser is not what measures the temperature. That is only for accuracy when you're aiming at something. If you don't feel like you need that or don't want it, you can hit this button here and it'll still, see now there's no laser, but it's still taking my temperature. So that's just an option. This is a very powerful laser, so make sure if you're using this, you don't point it at your eyes or your pet's eyes or your friend or family's eyes. Very dangerous. This button here is the backlight. Right now it's on and now it's off. So if you want to have the battery last a little bit longer, you can leave it off, but I tend to prefer it on most of the time. Here's where you can change between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I use Fahrenheit, so we will keep it set at that for this demonstration. It does take 2 AAA batteries, but guess what? They are included in the package, so you're ready to use this right out of the box. Putting the batteries in can be a little bit tricky. The way you open this up is there are little notches right here, and to open it up, you have to push on both at the same time. So what I do is push one thumb here and the other thumb here. I kind of use my chest to help, and you push forward and then it pops right open and your batteries go in right there. Then you close it up and you're good to go. So let's take this around the house and do some testing. So here we are outside, and like I said, it's very, very hot where I live. So I have my other testers set up here. And if I hit this button, you can see that all 3 of these are giving a different result. And if you look at my phone, it says the temperature here today is 100 degrees. But if I scroll down, it says feels like 94. So the air is kind of cooling down. It's not the hottest part of the day anymore. However, the objects that I'm pointing the laser at have been sitting in the sun. So those are going to be more hot than the air around us because they store the heat that they've built up throughout the day. Now, the cool thing about having a laser is you can pretty much measure the temperature of any area. So I can point this at a leaf. I can point it at the rocks on the ground, and you can see those are still very, very hot. If we take this inside, I can point it at chicken. Now, don't worry, that chicken has been thoroughly cooked. It's just been sitting out for a while, cooling down. That's why it's not 165 degrees anymore. It has started to cool. When we put the food thermometer inside of the chicken, you'll notice the inside of the chicken is hotter than the outside of the chicken, hence why these numbers are not the same. But if we move the thermometer closer to the surface of the chicken and then we test it out, you'll see the numbers are actually pretty close. I did a few more tests and I wanted to see how accurate this was according to my home thermostat, which is a very old model. So I don't know if it's more accurate than this or if this is more accurate than the home thermostat. But for good measure, I threw this on top so we could get a comparison of all 3. And as you can see, that is very close. However, I am hitting the wall. And remember, this is measuring the air and this is measuring the temperature of the actual wall. So the temperature of the wall might be slightly different than the air temperature, especially if there's been a change in temperature recently. So whether you're using this to test the temperature of the inside of your oven, to test the temperature of something that you're cooking, like a pizza, or to test your air conditioning system or heating system to make sure that it's putting out cold air or hot air, this thing is actually very fun to use and it's fun to have. It's one of those things you just find yourself going around the house and measuring the temperature of everything. If you're looking for a great way to measure temperature, this thing's awesome and I highly recommend it. And if you'd like to grab one of these, there is a link in the description below. Please do me a favor, let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to hit like on this video and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.